Right now, without thinking about it, you just took a breath. You didn't decide to, it just happened. And if someone asked how you breathe, you'd say something like, through my nose, I guess, and move on. But something your body does 23,000 times a day, you have almost certainly been doing wrong. Not occasionally, every single day, probably for most of your life. Take a breath right now, a normal one. Notice what moves. If your chest rose, you just confirmed what pulmonologist Dr. Rosalba Courtney has spent decades documenting. Most people in the modern world are chronic chest breathers. Fast, shallow, and almost entirely through their mouths. Your lungs aren't uniform balloons. The bottom third contains the highest concentration of blood vessels. That's where real oxygen exchange happens. And that's exactly the part most people never use. When your chest rises and falls, the bottom of your lungs barely moves. You're skimming the surface of your own respiratory system 23,000 times a day. But the shape of your lungs is only half the problem. The other half is your nose. Your nose is not simply a hole that lets air in. It filters, warms, and humidifies every breath. It produces nitric oxide, a molecule that dilates blood vessels and dramatically improves oxygen uptake. Your mouth produces none of it. Stanford professor Dr. Andrew Huberman has described nasal breathing as a fundamentally different physiological state. Same air, completely different outcome inside your body. Here's where it gets stranger. This wasn't always the case. Biological anthropologist Dr. Jeffrey Laitman studied human skulls across thousands of years. Ancient skulls show broader jaws, wider nasal passages, straighter teeth, the skeletal architecture of a species that breathed through its nose. Softer modern diets changed the jaw, changed the face, changed the airway. The breath followed. What does dysfunctional breathing feel like? Probably nothing. That's the problem. Shallow breathing changes the ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide in your blood. Most people think CO2 is just waste. It isn't. CO2 is what tells your red blood cells to release oxygen to your tissues. Without it, oxygen-rich blood circulates through your body without delivering what it carries. The tissues run low. The nervous system reads this as a threat, and your brain starts running low-level alarm protocols, showing up as restlessness, tension, brain fog, and a persistent, sourceless anxiety. You weren't born anxious. You may have simply been breathing in a way that made calm physiologically impossible. Here is what changes when you breathe correctly. Your diaphragm engages fully. It pulls air deep into the lower lobes. Your belly expands. Your chest stays still. Oxygen extraction improves. And the vagus nerve, the primary line of your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and recovery system, gets physically stimulated. Cortisol drops. Heart rate slows. Your body receives the signal that it is safe. This is why slow nasal breathing is the single most consistently replicated intervention in stress research. It is not relaxation. It is biology. Now think about sleep. If you breathe through your mouth at night, your body cycles through microarousals. Partial awakenings your conscious mind never notices, but your nervous system does. You wake up tired. You reach for caffeine. The fatigue compounds across weeks and months, and eventually you forget what rested ever felt like. Researchers at the University of Gothenburg found that simply taping the mouth shut during sleep, redirecting air back through the nose, significantly reduced snoring and improved breathing patterns. Not surgery, not medication, just the airway doing what it was designed to do. Your ancestors didn't need to be taught this. Their jaws were strong, their airways clear, and their breath moved the way breath was always supposed to move. You live in a world that smoothed away every hard food your jaw needed, surrounded you with stress no evolutionary template prepared you for, and quietly let your breath get faster, shallower, and wrong. But of all the things you cannot control about your biology, the breath is one of the few things you can. Slow it down right now. 4 seconds in through the nose, 6 seconds out. Belly rising, chest still. 3 rounds of that and the chemistry of your blood has already shifted. Your body has already begun to read the world as slightly less threatening. 23,000 breaths a day. Every one of them is an instruction your body receives about whether it is safe or in danger. Right now, without thinking about it, You just took another breath. But this time, maybe you thought about it. And maybe next time, you'll breathe a little differently.